So this is day one of quitting nicotine. I just woke up and I want to give it another shot. I've tried to quit like 5 times in the past week or so and kept giving in. It's weird, I don't even know why I keep relapsing because I've stopped before and gone months without it, without even, craving or feeling the need to vape or use nicotine. So yeah, I'm not sure what it is exactly. Maybe it's the urge itself. Because I've read the Alan Carr books, I've done the CBT, and it's helped in the past. It's helped me stop for like very long periods of time. But I've relapsed so many times too. But the best way to not relapse is to just not relapse. Just never go back. That's the one thing about it. There's this rule that he uses in the book called the law of smoking. And the law of smoking basically means that if you stop or if you quit nicotine, you can't have a cigarette ever again. Because even if you have just one, you're back into it. Back into the addiction. You've activated the brain, and the addiction just comes right back full force. And it's true, like when you have one cigarette, you don't just have one cigarette. When you have one dose, you don't just have one dose. One cigarette is too much, and 1,000 is not enough. So I need to respect that rule. Clearly, I haven't been respecting it. Unfortunately, I don't have the option to have just one cigarette or just one dose. That's not an option for me because I'm a nicotine addict. And I think that's the one thing. That's literally the only thing. Um, I don't even think it's unfortunate because I don't like nicotine, and nicotine isn't something to be enjoyed. That's all complete brainwashing. Nicotine's a poison. It's a fucking insecticide. A lot of things that we consume and get, high off of are insecticides. Like THC, caffeine as well. They're insecticides. They come from a plant. It's the plant's defense mechanism, but we're abusing that to get high. And there's really nothing fun about it. You can say that there is. You can say that you enjoy the action of smoking, but if somebody told you to put a stick into your mouth 10 times a day and just like hold it there and do nothing with it, just like hold the stick in your mouth for about like 3 minutes, 10 times a day, 20 times a day, would you do it? No. It's completely pointless. It doesn't benefit you, it doesn't do anything for you. And that's the same thing with smoking a cigarette. It's just pesticide leaves and thousands and thousands of chemicals. Or a vape, it's a fucking piece of plastic with a bunch of chemicals from China in it. You know, people can say like, oh, there's only 10 ingredients in a vape, or there's only 5 ingredients in a vape, but we don't know that. A lot of us don't have the luxury or the tools available to us, or the building available to us. Like, we don't have a fucking lab that we can go into with like a fucking microscope and all of these tools and like science equipment and shit to open up a vape and see how many chemicals are really in it. You can't look at a piece of plastic with like e-liquid in it or juice in it and guarantee to yourself that it's safe. Because these vaping companies don't give a fuck about our health. They genuinely don't. They don't care about getting off smoking to be healthier. They hack your mind with all of these chemicals to create like a flavor. They use the same sort of like flavoring agents that they would in foods. You can make any food taste good by adding those flavors to it. You can make shit taste good. And that's why they add these flavorings to e-juice or e-liquid in a vape. It gets rid of or it really masks the harsh taste of nicotine. You don't even notice it. And that was one of the things that hooked me in. Because I didn't like smoking, I didn't like the taste of it. But with nicotine, or with vaping, it was the flavors. Honestly, it was the flavors, the way the devices looked. It was so stupid, but yeah, it was true. That's what hooked me in. I've really had an interest in cigarettes. I've smoked cigarettes before. I've never smoked a cigarette and was like, wow, that was great. I'd almost have to pretend that it was great. But no, I've never enjoyed it. Because when you know the truth about cigarettes, you just have no interest in smoking cigarettes anymore. Yeah, I feel the urge right now. I feel the urge to use nicotine. Well, I can't really tell if it's an urge or a craving. I think it's a craving. Like the craving to buy a vape and to get that fresh nicotine hit. But that is just going to repeat the cycle. And if I repeat the cycle, who knows when I'm going to end it, or who knows when I'm going to hit a point where I've just had enough. I feel like I've just had enough now. The amount of times I've relapsed is just insane. And I think vaping is not worse than smoking for your health, but I think it's the nic salts or it's something to do with the e-liquid in the vapes. I think it's like nic salts, so it just hits you faster and it also leaves your body faster. So that's why people do it more often. And it's so convenient. You can do it wherever you want, whenever you want. It doesn't matter where the fuck you are. You could be in a supermarket and you could be hitting that shit. It literally doesn't matter. Nobody even notices. It's just the convenience of it. But I know like the law of smoking. Like if you take one hit, you're back to square one. Yeah, it's fucking tough, man. I made an agreement with my friends that if I do relapse, if I take a hit of nicotine, I have to pay one of them $100. So, for example, if I relapse, they put both their names in one of those spinning wheel things online, and whoever's name it lands on, I have to fucking PayPal them $100. So, is taking a hit of nicotine worth $100? I don't think it is. Is it a maybe like an alternative or a different method? Yeah. I've never tried this method before. I don't think that's 10 hits of nicotine, that's $1,000, you know, or 10 relapses, that's $1,000. I know I could lie about it. I could do it behind their backs, and none of them would know. But I'd feel disgusted. I'd feel ashamed because I agreed on it, and I'm breaking their trust behind their backs. That would be enough for me to stay off it and not do it. Shame is shame is a very low vibration emotion. It's not good. Well, it's feeling shame is human, but it is a very low vibration emotion, and shame brings you back to things like smoking over and over again, or porn. It's very shame based. It's like a negative feedback loop. You feel ashamed, so you smoke another cigarette, and then you feel ashamed, and you smoke more, and then you just keep smoking and smoking and smoking, and you feel so ashamed, and then you keep smoking. It's like this cycle of shame and self-soothing. Like when you're binge eating, emotional eating. You feel sad, so you eat some junk food, and then you feel more sad, and then you keep eating, and then you just feel really sad and really bloated, and you feel like a fat ass. feel like a fat ass and you just feel so ashamed. And then you feel like you're stuck in this state where your body looks terrible, you're way heavier than you'd like to be, things are harder, you have less energy. And you just feel so ashamed. So what do? You keep reaching for your vice. So yeah, I would feel ashamed if I did it behind their backs. Because I did agree on paying the $100 if I did relapse. So if I'm lying, of course I feel ashamed. That's what addicts do though, they lie. They lie to get their fix. Well, addicts. I don't like using the term addiction. I'm just using it because it makes sense to use it, and I'm so used to using that word. But I don't actually believe that addiction is a real thing. I just believe that we do things because we think they will make us happy. And that's pretty much it. And if you no longer believe that smoking or vaping or using nicotine is gonna make you happy, if you accept that fact, then it'll be hard to go back to it, or you won't feel the need to go back to it ever again. And if you just make a vow to yourself that you're never gonna use it again, ever, and stick to that, then it'll be easy. Quitting nicotine isn't supposed to be hard. Because it does nothing for you, it does nothing for me, it does nothing for anyone. I know that it does nothing for me. I know that. I've just been a stubborn idiot. It's almost like the animal part of my brain is refusing to accept that or believe that. But it's true. It does nothing for me. There are no benefits. I've been over the CBT so many times, but it's true. There's literally no fucking benefit to doing it. There's no high, there's no pleasure once you get addicted to it. There's no pleasure once you're addicted. At the start, there might be, but when you're addicted, all you're doing is relieving the urge, and that's it. You're trying to feel normal, but you never quite feel normal. You never hit baseline. You're always below baseline. Even if you smoke up, you feel a little bit better, but not quite baseline. Because you fall into the red zone, your dopamine levels are just below baseline all the time. You are more depressed all the time when you are addicted to something. This isn't just nicotine, this is other things as well. You're in a state of dopamine deficit. That's why you don't have as high of a drive to take action or do things or work really hard or exercise. You need dopamine to do those things. You need stable dopamine levels to engage in those activities. Because dopamine isn't the feel good chemical, it's the chemical that drives action. you get dopamine from something. It's just the chemical that signals to your brain that you should repeat an action because it's important for your survival. That's why you get dopamine after you eat food. Nicotine hijacks that. So you believe nicotine is as important as food or water for your survival, or sometimes more important. Sometimes you skip a meal just to have some nicotine. Or instead of eating in the morning, you have nicotine and then you don't want to eat because you feel like you've satisfied your hunger. Even though you haven't, the hunger is still there. You filled up on nicotine, but the hunger is still there. The hunger didn't go away. But just like the urge to refill on nicotine, hunger can go away for a little while, but it'll come back. And the difference between the urge for nicotine and the urge to eat is that the urge to eat doesn't go away after a few days. Your body has to signal to you that you're hungry to make you eat. Otherwise, you will die. After a few days, the nicotine urge goes away completely. And that's because the nicotine receptors become inactive in the brain. And you don't need nicotine to live. Otherwise, all the non-smokers and all the non-vapors would be dead. But they're not. So a lot of people think that smoking or vaping or nicotine helps them to keep off weight. And that's not true. There's a lot of very, very heavy people who use nicotine. Doesn't help them. Maybe you feel like it helps you, but it doesn't. It doesn't actually help you. It doesn't actually make you less hungry. It gives you the illusion that you're less hungry because you've refilled the urge of low nicotine levels, which can be confused with hunger. Because they're a very similar sort of feeling. Like, I can't even tell right now if I'm hungry or if I have the urge to use nicotine. They're very similar feeling. The urge for nicotine is a lot milder. It's like feeling like kind of hungry. So it's very easy to confuse the two. Anyway, this has been day one. I'm kind of yapping a bit, but here's to day two tomorrow of staying off of this crap. I think making videos about it will definitely help a lot. So, yeah, see you in day two.